I think if you are going to succeed with KDP, you should have like uh, a team. And I have people who are doing smaller tasks like formatting and book covers and stuff like that. I have it on Fiverr, and the the most important things of my team are the writers and the people who's helping me with ads because I'm outsourcing everything because I can, and I want it to be like that because I always say you have let the best do what they or what they can. So yeah, so you need to have a team that's doing everything for you, and
Mm.
I think that's basically the most important thing of KDP because you cannot do everything yourself. It doesn't work like that. You need to see it as a business and not like something. Why should you require design expertise and stuff like that when you have other people who you can pay for
Yeah.
and they can
Ma-
do it?
ma-
I think that's the most important thing to work on the business and not in the business. That's my best suggestion for new people. And how do you get people in your team? Yeah, you should, you have to reach out and so you will see which people who are doing good and continue with them. And if people are not doing good, you will have to search for others. So that is something that you have to understand if you want to make 10K or more. That's my suggestion. Yeah.
I get that's totally right, and I think you have a great point here. My problem with it a little bit is the freelancer part, because in my first business I had two employees, so in an office, real people that are working with me together and are employed by me, and I'm in the mindset of an employer that the people have to be here in an office. I have to coach them face to face. And with freelancers, it works with the two freelancers I have now, but in I'm a little bit holding myself back when it's getting to more freelancers and manage them, and they are all around the world. So one is in uh, India, the one is in Africa, for example, or in Philippines, and I don't know if I can coach these people right if they aren't here, but because I want them to be the best they can be in the task that they are performing.
But why coach? You shouldn't coach anyone. You should find people who is doing the things that you want because there are people who are doing everything already. They don't need your coaching. There are people. So what? Which freelancers do you have a problem with that you want to coach?
Creating the books the way I create them, exactly the way that I doing them. I want to copy myself, for example, and so
I understand. I understand.
uh,
But it should be enough with a guideline that shows you that can tell them what to do. So you have the guideline for that, and sometimes maybe it will be a great difference between her or the writer and your job, but in time, it will be good. So
yeah.
the guidelines should be very clear, and so yeah, so I have I have never I don't for me I believe in the writer and sometimes you can hire a writer and you can check every 3,000 words
Mhm.
so you have the control. If maybe someone is not doing what you want, so you can try in the beginning to do 1,000 words and then check it and take it from there. But with a great guideline and clear structures, it should be as you want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
I have hired about 700 plus people on my Upwork account. And in the beginning, when I was hiring, I was very much trying to coach the person. I was giving feedback, and when they were doing a good job, I was saying you're great at this, etc. But what I learned was that eventually, if you try to coach them too much, it doesn't help, because if the base is not correct, then, or the base is not optimal, which means that their skill level, their conscientiousness, their determination, etc., then it doesn't matter how much I try to coach them or try to take them in the right direction. So then I went extreme after that lesson, because I was working for several years. I was working with people that I thought were good enough. They were doing their job, but I constantly had to give feedback, and sometimes the work wasn't delivered on time, but I trained them, so I didn't want to let them go. So then I did an extreme thing. After my account was terminated, I got rid of them. But also what I did was I started hiring 5 people for the same job. And I said, you all do this job. Let's say it was $5, $10. And then I would see who did the best job. And then based on that, I would then continue with the best one. And that is still what I do today. And inside the Systems Mastery, I have a method, and you can adjust these templates, for example, when you're hiring. And you can find ways, for example, when you're doing translations for books and you don't know the language, how can you still ensure quality? And that is by doing the method of hiring several people and then having an expert to judge, okay, this is good, this is not good, and then they rank them, and then you continue with that, and then you continuously check their work. And through doing that, then you will end up with what I believe is the cream of the crop, because the cream, it rises to the top. So that is what you want. You want your hiring process to filter. And now I've changed a little bit. So now I've started doing calls with them beforehand. And I always look at the reviews, and if they're top rated, that's of course a plus. But even that's not a sure bet. So you want to analyze their work, and if you don't feel confident, for example, if it's another language, then you have another expert that analyzes the work. And so there are certain ways where you can ensure quality, even if you're not an expert in the topic or the language, for example. So, but I understand in your case, Andre, you want to make the books in a very specific style, which you have laid the foundation for. So in your case, it's mostly about ensuring that the training material gets saved, it turns into a standard operating procedure, and that you don't need to train them manually, like, for example, having a call, etc., every time you're training a new person.
You can try to make a system, Andre, how to ask people the right questions, so you can fast see which freelancers are good for you. And you can ask ChatGPT, which questions should I ask them to get the most of it on a short period of time. So I think that's a good way to fast outsource, which ones are right for you.